Hello there. You join me, ladies and gentlemen, right as I am just about to consume my pre-workout meal. Welcome back to the YouTube. Something a little bit different today. As promised, I am back with another upload. Who is this guy? Wow, 2 uploads in a week. Pro level content creation there. As I say, you join me right before I'm about to head off to the gym. I'm actually in a bit of a rush. I've let the morning get away from me. I am now kind of chasing my own tail. I can definitely tell prep is prepping because it took me about half an hour to find these and the camera that I'd already used to film stuff this morning. Yeah, losing stuff. I do this all the time. I hide things in plain sight. I don't know why. It's very frustrating for me. Past Liam does not often look out for future Liam, so present Liam has a tough time. But as I say, we're going to take you guys along in a little bit of like a day in the life on prep today. We've got D-volume legs to go through. I think I'm going to try and be brave and film in the gym and speak and all that good stuff. Give you guys some insights as to how I run my training and why. Also got a massage booked. I don't think I'll be filming that. I think that's a little bit too sensitive for YouTube. I'm sure the masseuse probably wouldn't want that either, but I'll definitely do like a before and after and kind of go through what things we worked on. It's all basically just to build me up and line me up for the most optimal position to be in for next week when prep kind of really starts again. This diet break has been a godsend, but it's time to get back into the trenches, dig for fat loss, dig for new levels of condition, and bring that absolutely undeniable package to the stage in about 11, 12 weeks' time. I'm about to eat my pre-workout meal, which is just cream of rice, 100 grams of raspberries, 50 grams of whey, and some peanut butter. I'm not going to make you sit through ASMR. I'll speed it up, and then we'll head to the gym. One thing I just want to add to the last little bit. Obviously, we just polished off that pre-workout meal. Delicious. Something interesting about prep is, even though I've had an increase in food this week, my body's reception to that is absolutely wild. Like, I have more carbs. I think it's about 400 extra calories a day, 400, 500, give or take, right? That should be sufficient. Like, anyone who's just eating normally and regularly, that would be like a substantial amount of food to increase by. You'd feel that. When you're in prep, you do not even feel it. It just goes into the vacuum of space that is your stomach, and your body uses it like a furnace. And it has got me thinking a little bit about like the post-prep phase and reverse dieting and stuff. I think I need to manage that very well because I am a glutton at heart. Like, Izzy, my girlfriend, will account for this. If I get a bag of cookies, it's not just one cookie I'm eating, it's like the whole bag. And that's the same with everything. So just a little something that I've been thinking recently and is just on my mind for the future. Let's be prepared, okay? Okay. God, I have to stand so far back to be actually in the frame on that. We're ready for the gym. Everything's packed. We've got our intra workout here, which has just got some pump product. It's got 20 grams of carbs. It's got, what else has it got? Creatine, all that good stuff. Okay, we're ready to go. Usually at this point, I would try and find the most experimental car angle that I can. But as I said, we don't really have time today. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you one of my secret talents that not many people know that I have, which is my ability to teleport. Okay, I am going to go to the gym in 3, 2, 1. See, bet you didn't know I could do that, did you? Anyway, we are going to run through a lower body session, D-volume, as mentioned previously. Pro tip for everyone out there, not a pro tip because I'm not a pro, amateur level tip. When it comes to training your abs and your calves, throw abs into your lower body sessions for a couple of reasons. One, if you engage your core at the start of your lower body session, it's going to help with bracing on those bigger compound movements, so your midsection is going to be nice and tight. Also, it's the thing that you're most likely to skip, right? abs and calves, the two things that in your week you're probably going to get to and just think, oh, I can't be bothered with this. And by doing them both at the start of a lower body session, you make sure you don't. And we're very limited on time today because I fucked it basically, and I don't want to keep the masseuse waiting. She's probably got a busy schedule. So if things are a little bit dysfunctional, very sorry in advance. Everyone who knows me knows I'm a sucker for a cinematic gym angle. I'm going to try my best. Like, I think this added pressure of time is either going to lead to movie magic or movie mayhem, but we'll see. Just moving on to our first exercise of the day then. So I do 2 movements for abs, literally that's it. Twice a week. On my hinge day, I do a hanging leg raise, quite simply because it simulates a similar movement, and all the reasons I just specified engages the core. Likewise, for today, which is more of a squatting pattern day, let's say, or at least it's my heavy squatting pattern day, I do a cable crunch, and I want to speak quickly just to the common mistakes that I see with the cable crunch, and I'm really hoping that this angle is going to show it. So the main thing that you want to do when you're doing a cable crunch is ensure that you're actually engaging your midsection, and by that we mean like thoracic rounding of the spine, spinal flexion, right? So what that means is that your shoulders are actually rolling over and your abs are contracting, okay? And then vice versa, they're stretching all the way up so that we're actually getting a good stretch in that muscle. In the same way that if you were doing a bicep curl, you'd want to contract and then stretch, right? So the main thing that I see people do, and they get this wrong, is that they almost go from the hip, right? And they basically just go straight down like this. That's not what you want. What you want is to lock this in place and come over. Really tuck yourself like a snail. Yeah, Liam, tell people to be snails. But that's how you're going to get that good squeeze on the abs and stretch at the top. It looks a bit fruity. We can admit that. But I'll literally just take this set close to failure. I got one more. And that's a level of intensity and difficulty that I'm happy with on a D-volume week. You know, if we were working up to normal intensity, we'd take that a lot further, but we're happy with that. Just trying to show an alternate angle here so that you can see what I was talking about with that rounding, I hope. The snail. Got bigger legs than me, mate. You must be this tall to ride. Fucking hell. I'm filming a little day in the life. It's so tricky, mate, because it's like, until you have it in video format, you don't know how it's going to be. Yeah. I've just filmed loads of stuff and it's going to be completely dysfunctional. Yeah. I'm going to try and like give some elements of wisdom, the little wisdom that I have, to it. So anything that you've got to say, it'll be cool. So 1, be careful. 2, if you think of something good to say it. I was saying, you know, to the adoring fans, that one of the things that I've learned since being with Zach, and I'm sure you apply it to your training now as well, is like training abs and calves at the start of a session. Yeah, because it's like you're most likely to skip those elements, so just get them done at the start. Guarantee that you're not going to skip them. Guarantee that you're not going to miss out on gains. See, people, everyone in Corpus is doing not necessarily the right things, because we don't want to be completely prejudiced to our own way of thinking. But I saw this thing the other day and it was like, I'll send it to you later, you'll like it. It was like the aura 5'7" men used to have before height inflation, and it's like just loads of Roman legionaries. And I think that's like accurate, because like people probably were 5'7" back then. But it's true, like I see like 17, 18-year-olds now, they're all like 6'3", 6'4". Like I remember my dad saying, because my dad is short, my dad's like 5'6.5", 5'7". And I always said to him, like, you know, were you always short? And he said, oh, well, when I was growing up in my town in Barnsley, I was one of the tall ones. And it was when I went to uni that I realised I was small. And it's like, that's how I feel now. In his natural habitat.
Wow.
Stuck on the sofa.
Hey, this is where I belong. This is how I spend like my entire
This
life.
is Zach Daniels caught in his real habitat.
Yeah, looking at naked pictures of myself.
We all do that though. Right, we've done a fair amount of talking to this point, so I think next few exercises we're just going to try and kind of like bish bash bosh. If there's anything to talk about, I will talk about it because it's worth talking about. Nothing really on a seated ham curl. Just fucking go for it. Oh. 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 So, worth loading up the camera again for this little section. It died, which isn't ideal. If anyone's got any tips, by the way, I've got a Sony ZV-1. And if anyone's got any tips for filming like longer content without your battery just getting absolutely hammered, because I'm now having to like charge this in between shots, which isn't ideal. But I wanted to talk about this. So on the Pendulum, as some people know, not on the Pendulum, but on the hack, I hurt my knee like 5-6 months ago now, and it's still affecting me. It's honestly a miracle that my legs are where they are in terms of both strength and development at this point in prep. And that has literally come out of sheer will and determination to train through difficulty. But having said that, I am wearing these AQF knee sleeves. And I've been wearing them since the injury, basically. I've been implementing knee sleeves for the last 6 months easily. And it's something that I'm going to wean myself off of post-prep. I'm not willing to take the risk right now because so close to competing, I don't want to have something go wrong and set myself back. You know, there's just no point risking it. But anyway, they've been helping me a lot in terms of both mental confidence and then like the physical, obviously like the benefit that they provide. But yeah, today we're doing one working set at a D volume on the Pendulum. I've got 60 loaded up. It's feeling quite heavy. I'm going to run just this last little one and then see what we could do. But I'd love to get like a big confidence booster today on this because it's been kicking my ass a little bit recently and I'd like to kick it back. So let's see. All right, smoke this one. This isn't even close, man. Let's go. Yeah, that is exactly the kind of rep that you're looking for prior to a working set. I'm going to load up 70 and see how that feels. I really don't want to hit like a 4-repper is basically what I'm after, and no reps to failure today. So I'm going to load up 70, see how that feels. Maybe be a little bit more ambitious, maybe be a little bit less, but that 60 was a good indication of where things are at. Right, let's smoke this baby. Big and strong. Most suspicious. See, now as far as the last set was a great example of a confidence booster, that was a great example of a, I don't know where I stand with that. I know that watching it back, it's going to look like it flies, but internally, that's I felt that one, like, I felt the weight of it, which is a pretty stupid thing to say about lifting some weight. But for those who get that, it's more of a, you know, when I lift that for 1 rep, I'm not thinking about how heavy it is for 1 rep. I'm using that as a gauge to see what it's going to feel like at the 8th rep, which, to be honest, I don't think I would get to. But you know what? I want some stimulus. I want to move some heavy weight today because I took my deload lower day on Tuesday a little bit too liberally. So we're going to move this and we're going to see how it goes. If I can get a 6, I'd be very happy. I think I got this for 8 last week and I was at a maximum effort. So let's see if we can get a 6 at like a relatively comfortable effort. Let's see it then. A little bit of intensity. Turn it up a bit. Strong from the first one. Yep. Okay, so to be honest, that couldn't have gone much better. Right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, very similarly to the last exercise, you join me on my last warm-up, quite simply because the camera keeps dying. So I'm having to charge it and show you the things that are most worth seeing, which is top sets, heavy weights. Very similar vibe on here to what we had on the Pendulum. They're both Jim Lecco pieces. Jim Lecco as a brand, down here, I'll show it in a minute. As a brand of fitness equipment, it's very unforgiving. You know, it puts you in positions where you have to work for everything that you get, is what I like about it. But it just means that every rep, like I know I'm probably going to throw 10s on this as well and go for something similar to what I went for on the Pendulum, maybe a 6. This has been progressing nicely lately, so I'm not as concerned about that confidence element. I'm pretty confident going into this warm-up and the following set that I'll get what I want. I don't need to go crazy, but let's see. I guarantee it feels heavy, so always hard to gauge. I'd say if you're working on Jim Lecco, like, don't take that first rep as the be-all and end-all of what you're then going to do on your working set. Let's see. Ooh! As I was saying, it probably looks good on the camera, right? But that was heavy. You can probably tell by the weird noise I made. But I am going to throw 10s on, and I think I'm going to go for 6 and just make them clean, good reps, and just take it all from there. Bit harder than I'd like. Okay, we'll call that. Right, very quickly, because everything's going to die. Session wrapped up. Just got some new protein from the gym, recommended by Josh. Very good things. Kind of working through my way through all the flavours at the minute that I can. That's like just prep setting in anything sweet that I can get my hands on that fits what I can eat. Right, apologies everyone. Camera's dead. It was going to happen, wasn't it? So we've switched to the iPhone just to catch this little bit and keep you kind of, you know, plodding along the day. God, look at that trim, bro. I'm growing my hair for those who care. Anyway, we're about to head off to the massage place, the sports therapy place. I really am in a rush. I've completely overestimated my ability to do things quickly. I'll do some like post, I guess, afterwards, just feedback on how the session went, what we find. I'm hoping we don't find anything. I'm not feeling like particularly injured in any capacity. I just want to get a general kind of fixer-upper, let's call it. But yeah, we will see you probably either in the car on the way back from that or back home. Right, so we just finished up with the sports massage. Managed to get back, traps and delts relatively well worked. She used some scraping tool, which was actually really nice. I feel like it's really opened my trap up. So, and that was the main concern, to be honest. I'm not someone who books in massages just for the sake of a massage. Like, I know that in this industry, you know, you do need to take care of your body. You do need to take care of your recovery. It's very important. But I know that it's very easy to get kind of wrapped up in that and start spending a lot of money on things that you might not need. So for me, I book in when I really need to. And with the timing of things, it just made sense to get one booked in today. Anyway, the day is really getting away from me, as it always does. But we're going to head home. We're going to crack on with some meal prep because it's been a while since my last meal, actually. Not ideal, not the best bodybuilder. And then we'll see where the rest of the day takes us. I've got to get a lot of steps done, so I might go for a little topless walk around the town, assert my dominance, which I've never done, but it is appropriate weather for it. So, yeah. Let's go. Right, as you can tell, we are back at Mi Casa Su Casa, Casa del Smith, cooking up some lunch. The day has massively gotten away from me, I can't lie. And I tell you what, that's something that's actually quite interesting to talk about. Like, with bodybuilding and relation to bodybuilding, it really does. I don't want to say it takes over your life, and maybe that's me just being protective of my own space and my own opinions towards the sport. But it takes precedent in your life. I'll definitely say that much. Like, I had so many things planned today that I wanted to do, and a lot of them have taken a step back. It gets in the way of things when you're chasing a goal, when you're chasing the idea of getting, you know, totally shredded to the bone, not just like in shape. It really puts things on the back foot, and that's something that post prep I'm very much so looking forward to getting a bit more of that balance back in my own life, to be honest. Like, the sport in general, I'm not going to shit all over it because I clearly love bodybuilding, right? But it's incredibly lonely, and it can be. It doesn't have to be, and there's definitely, you know, support circles within the sport. But what I find is that it takes you away from a lot of the things and a lot of the people that you maybe want to be spending your time with if you weren't so focused on this one thing and fixated, let's say. But yeah, we're cooking up some chicken in the barbecue. Summer, so why not? I've become obsessed with barbecuing recently. I'm not very good at it, but I'm trying to get better. Getting plenty of water in. You'll see that throughout the video today. Like, this is my third 1.5 litre bottle of water, so 4.5 litres of water already in today. It's 4 o'clock. I'll probably get another one of them in by the end of the day, so 6 litres in total. I suppose let's just talk a little bit. I'm just going to check the chicken. As I was saying, I think this segues quite nicely because this pretty much is probably going to be the close of the video. The only things that I'm going to do with the rest of the day today are have my final meal. So this is 2 meals that I'm cooking right now. The rice is cooking inside, chicken, rice and veg meals. The last meal of the day is going to be potatoes and some mince. Don't really need to show you guys that. It's not that interesting. Let me know in the comments if you really wanted to see that potato and mince meal. Oh God, he's holding his secrets from us. But in all honesty, apart from that, that's pretty much going to wrap up the day. So to summarise the deload session today, really effective. The leg press set, obviously not the best, wasn't the confidence booster that I was looking for, but I know exactly why. It's because I rushed it, the camera was running out of charge, I wanted to get the footage. So that's a perfect example of me putting content before bodybuilding, which shouldn't be doing, but oh well, we live and we learn. Feeling really good at the minute in terms of where I'm at with prep. Like, if you'd have told me however many weeks ago, 15, 16 weeks ago, that we'd be here, in the position that I'm in now, around 12 weeks out, in the condition that I'm in, I would have shook your hand very aggressively. I think, you know, Zach really knows what he's doing when it comes to prepping clients. I'll give him that. He's an excellent coach. And just getting out fast, you know, it was tough. Like the first stint of prep, definitely felt some crashes, but overall I think my body's acclimatized, and like this last week, having just the maintenance calories, I feel like a very different human being, and it's kind of reset me both physically and mentally in preparation for this next stint of prep, which I know is going to be the part that bites. Even though when you look at it statistically, like I've lost nearly 30 pounds right in the last 16 weeks, and now I've only got 10 pounds, probably give or take 10 pounds to lose to come in true stage condition, which is going to be spooky, by the way, people. Like, please don't be too concerned for me, send me your prayers, but like when you see the photos and it's looking pretty nasty, just know that I know that I'm not like blind to it, because I think a lot of people do get blind to it and the body dysmorphia starts to kick in. But I feel good. I feel like I'm ready for that challenge now. If you'd have asked me that 2 weeks ago when I was kind of starting to feel the pinch a lot, I'd have been like, wow, we've still got, 14 weeks until the first show. Whereas now, myself and another lad who's competing, Ian Talbot-Balfe, the man, the myth, the legend, you know, we were talking on Instagram about how quickly it's kind of gone and the time seems to be speeding up, but I'm in a really confident spot. My posing is improving. I'm finding tweaks that are working for me to get my hamstrings and my glutes to turn on. And that's all it really is to it. Like the next 10, 11 weeks is going to be a real focus on training, like keeping everything standardized, keeping everything as aggressive as I possibly can to retain the muscle mass that I do have, because otherwise I'm going to be about 40 kilos on stage. Staying in the right mindset, like focusing enough on bodybuilding but not letting it completely envelop everything that I am, which can be tough sometimes. And just bringing the best that I can to the sport, the best that I can to the stage. That's what this is with the goal of, is to prove the question or answer the question that I had to myself 2 years ago, which was, what would happen if I gave this my all? And I can truly turn around and say I have done that to this point, and I'm hoping I can still say that in 10 weeks time. Let's just check that chicken again. There's going to be a big focus moving forward on, as I say, the intensity, the retention of muscle, and then just fine-tuning my posing, because I think I'm a relatively good poser. Like, for someone who hasn't really had much tuition on it, I've had one posing session, and you know, I feel like I'm in a good spot with it. I feel comfortable when I pose, I feel confident when I pose, but I just know that there's certain things that maybe I'm not thinking about because I don't have the experience there. I'm not a judge at the end of the day. I only see what I see and what I think is aesthetically pleasing. So I need to put some work in there and obviously put a routine together. But we've got time. We've got time and we've got ability. So we'll see what happens. Get my steps in, get the rest of my food in, get my hydration in, and I'm just going to play some Xbox with my pals. Like, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to have a great time. Thank you guys for watching along. Let me know if you enjoyed this. I definitely want to do more of these. I'm going to look to try and, as I say, upload more and more and more as we get closer to prep, really tell the story of what I'm doing here. And that's going to do it for today's video. Remember, please, if you did enjoy, drop a like. It really helps with the algorithm up above, the mighty Google that gives us the tasty views that we want. And if you want to follow along for more, obviously subscribe. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you